The other day I was at the movies and I was just leaving as I normally do, and I noticed that there was a crowd of people standing around looking at the movie posters, and it really started to make me think of the lost art of movie posters, okay, because it looks like every single poster nowadays is this floating head, copy-paste, blue and orange background poster. You know what I'm talking about. And I really wanted to do a deep dive, and I'm not talking about necessarily from like a graphic design standpoint, okay, I took 2 graphic design classes in college, I was horrible, and I hated it, okay, I'm talking about specifically from the experience of film, the art of the experience, which is important, okay? What you know before you go into the movies is very, very important, okay? But also how you advertise that. Because right now, it looks like all movie posters look the same. You have all of the blockbuster posters. We have Scream 7, for instance, Sinners, Avengers Endgame, Avatar, Stranger Things, the new Mario movie. All of them look the exact same. Or if you're trying to be a highbrow action movie, you do Mission Impossible or one other after the other with one gigantic head and then a bunch of other small heads all around it. Or if you're an indie quirky movie, you do How to Make a Killing or The Holdovers or Fantastic Four, The Complete Unknown, Tetris, Don't Worry Darling, Strange World, you name it. But what about the scary movie that just puts the horror character on the poster, like Halloween, Black Phone, Scream, many others? Posters used to be an art form. They used to be iconic. We've all seen an iconic poster for a movie that we don't even have to have seen the movie, but we know exactly what that poster is for. And that is what I'm referring to in this situation. Okay, I'm talking Jaws, Back to the Future, Star Wars even, you know, just iconic posters. And if you look at, for instance, what the actual original first Star Wars poster was compared to what it's known for now, it's very different. And why is that? Okay, so movie marketing in general has just changed, specifically with trailers, to the point where they're just revealing everything. This is to get people back into movie theaters. Let's acknowledge that it is in congruency with the fact that a lot of people aren't going to the movie theaters right now. I'm actually working on a video about that, breaking down the statistics just about like which demographics are going to the movie theaters and if cinema's dying. So you have what I consider the cameo effect. Okay, the Deadpool and Wolverine, the Avengers Doomsday, where movies are more moments than they are stories. Okay, it's more to get that TikTok moment, or it's to satisfy that same feeling that happens when you watch a TikTok where it's, oh, this character again, oh, nostalgia, oh, this, oh, that I think that you have to advertise those up front to get people into the movies. You know, it's like Avengers Doomsday revealing all the cameos that they have ahead of time, because that specifically that studio is struggling to get people back into the theaters. They're throwing everything out there. There aren't going to probably be a lot of surprises in that movie. And I think that that is kind of, in essence, what is happening here. And I just think that that's very interesting. Again, it's just the landscape of movie marketing, but just movies in general have also changed. And we're just no longer teasing stories. They're teasing these moments. They're teasing this actor being in the movie and this character and this MacGuffin and this object. And so that's why they're all floating head photos. And I think that that's ultimately what it comes down to. Also, revealing all of that in the trailer, that's where we find ourselves. That's why every character has to get a photo on the poster. Even MacGuffin objects and things like that all are finding their way onto the poster. It's like, how much story beats, not only we're not even talking about trailers here, how much story beats can we fit in the poster? For a long time, a poster's all you had. All you knew going into a movie was the poster. Okay, the movie poster used to be all over the movie theaters. You know, you would only be able to see the trailer in front of a movie in the theaters in many cases. You know, you would also have the DVD effect and the blockbuster effect, and I think that that's why so many posters became iconic. They were used in multiple different formats and mediums for many years without changing. That created a lot of iconography within the poster world, but also when you look at the posters today, they've been what I like to call thumbnailification of movie posters. Now you're not just in a store, you know, where you're probably, you know, you're actively seeking out these movies, or, you know, if you went to a blockbuster or something, but now you're competing with a ton of other titles, not to try to get you to do anything else, but to click on as many as possible. So they all look great. It's not even really like, if you go on Netflix, Netflix doesn't care what you watch. They just want you to watch all of them. Okay, so they want to give you all the information up front to get you to click on that movie. Okay, and so not only that, we just don't even really have iconic posters, because again, thumbnails have kind of taken over, and thumbnails can be different in Netflix than they can be on Disney Plus, than they can be on YouTube or anything else. And so I think that that really has taken away a lot of the iconography of movie posters, but also again reinforce this kind of problem that's happening with the movie poster world, which is to throw as much information as you can onto the poster. But also there's the obvious psychology and marketing elements of a movie poster. There's the obvious part. Genre identity and caliber of quality are often stuff that you want to establish within your movie poster. A24 is really good at just simply making their films seem highbrow, even if they're not. Let's be for real, not every single A24 movie is amazing, but you still have this reputation going into a good A24 movie because of just what you see. When you see the A24 logo, you kind of know what is going to be presented. And they do a really good job with that with all of their movies, but particularly just the reputation that they built as a market. You know, when you just see that logo, you know kind of what movie you're getting into. But also the Letterboxd aesthetic effect of movie posters as well. If you don't know, on Letterboxd, you can pay a premium to have custom posters on your page. And what it lets you do is it lets you kind of make your page aesthetic and kind of fit with a vibe. And I think that that's fit a lot into the personalization of movie posters and the proliferation of movie posters. You know, there's been a rise in like secondhand individualized movie posters for your favorite movies, particularly within the minimalistic aesthetic. I'm not here to talk about that. There's actually a lot of video essays on the internet about that topic from graphic designers who are a lot more qualified to talk about than I am. But that's just, again, a point to the rise of personalization and the proliferation of differential movie posters, because now you just have a million posters. Not even just individual people can create them and sell them, but also from the studios themselves. You now have a regular poster and a final poster and a teaser poster and an IMAX poster and a Dolby poster and a streaming poster, whatever poster you can think of. For instance, I think the Dune IMAX poster is the best Dune 2 poster that there is. I have it hanging on my wall, and it kind of stinks because I feel like that was the best that they could put forward, but they had to save something for an IMAX poster. Whereas what's so cool about it is it shows the scale and the scope and the stakes of what's happening without revealing anything about the story. But because you have to put a bunch of actors' names, and again, you want to sell people on everything that's in the movie immediately because people just don't take chances on stuff anymore, we've lost the art of that poster. So now I want to refer to what I consider are really good posters, particularly as of recent. Scream, an amazing poster. The first Scream, but also 6. I know it kind of trashed on 6 recently with just like putting the monster in the movie poster, but I think that Scream 6 also is really good because it shows New York City as a location in Ghostface. And that's kind of conceptually all you need to know, but it doesn't spoil a single thing in that story. The same with the first Scream. The marketing for the first Scream was just amazing, okay? If you know anything about Scream, I'm a huge Scream fan. The way that they set up Drew Barrymore to kind of be this main major role within the film when she died within the first 10 minutes, that'll always be iconic, and that's just not something we get now a lot of days. We're going to be talking about that. Interstellar. Conceptually, you get the idea. You're in interstellar space. I want to know more. You either like that concept or you don't. The same with X-Men. You don't actually see all the characters in their costumes. The Godfather, another really good poster. Also recently Challengers, I think just does a really good job of setting up, again, just the concept. It just gets you simply interested in the movie. And also Superman. The reasons that they're good is because they're teasing the concept, and trailers should tease the story. Interstellar is so much more than just being in interstellar space, but it's teasing that as a concept. Scream is so much more than just, you know, slasher film, but it's just teasing the concept of these things. X-Men, you don't see them in costume. It's not a floating head poster. You don't know every single actor in the movie, but if you want to know more, you know, watch the trailer. Also think of A24's The Backrooms. The poster is simply what looks like wallpaper, and they've actually been sending out wallpaper posters that you can kind of stick on your wall so it looks like a part of your room is the back room. And if you're interested in why is there a movie about wallpaper, you can look at the trailer, and again, it teases the very basic general concept of what the movie will be about without teasing a single thing in the story. You don't even see a single actor in the movie. I think we are headed in a very good direction because, again, a lot of the movies I mentioned in good posters and good trailers are stepping up, and I think particularly an indie film really is capturing this. And also I think the return of the mid-budget movie is also playing a huge part in this as well. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this. This was just my evaluation of posters, but also particularly marketing. But let me know what you think down below. I love making these videos, and yeah, peace out.